Welcome to Homefront Sit Rep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe you.
You can find Homefront Sit Rep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Homefront Sit Rep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of Homefront Sit Rep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Good, man. Had to cancel yesterday's jump into UC due to extremely high winds. We had 10 to 15 mile an hour winds here on the ground with gusts over 20, and then the winds just grew the higher in elevation you went. So we only had 2,700 feet of ceiling on top of that. So crappy decision that we had to make to cancel that jump. We always love doing UC. The fans there are amazing, but we'll give it a try again this Saturday. It's their last home game of the year, so hopefully we can get it in.
Heck yeah, man. Now, I went to the U of L game on Friday night, and man, it was windy as all get out. I mean, it was like, holy cow. So yeah, I could understand the wind on Saturday as well. So
yeah, we had a noon jump too, so earlier in the day, but I don't think it died down at all. We went out and run some errands, went to a friend's birthday party last night, and even today mowing the grass, trying to get it in one more time, and just I'd blow, I'd go in and everything's shooting out, and then the leaves are just coming right back over me because of the wind. So I mean, it's been crazy here in Northern Kentucky the past few days.
Oh yeah, the wind's just been unbelievable. Like, so we went to Richmond on Saturday, and beautiful day, but it was just super windy. I mean, I had shorts on and a t-shirt when we got there, and we got down in the bowl at the bottom because we got front row seats, season tickets, and I brought my hoodie with me, the EKU one that's for veterans. So I had it with me, and I was like, man, I'm getting cold. So I put that on right before it started getting dark. And I was like, dude, I'm glad I put that on. Now, granted, I still had shorts on, but it was still windy. And I was
Yeah.
like, man. So, so speaking of next Saturday, you'll be doing the UC jump. I'll be going to Warrior Rounds Kentucky style, which if you don't,
Actually,
uh-oh.
actually, um, unfortunately, I cannot be at UC.
Well, then you're coming to Warrior Rounds Kentucky style
Well,
with
hold on. There's that possibility. I
oh,
do have a Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky meeting. It's our first meeting since the event. So we're doing some after action stuff and looking forward to next year. We've already have planned a fundraiser dinner at the church. It's just gonna be barbecue and fixins and just 200 plates. Just to give us a jump start to help cover the costs of shirts, coins, whatever other costs we may incur throughout the year leading into Mogadishu Mile. But
nice.
yeah, so there is that possibility that I can make it down to Shepherdsville for Warrior Rounds.
Well, we got 4 tickets for our table, so I don't know if you'll be bringing April with you or not, but I know Julie's not coming, so yeah, we definitely. I got to get another camera because I'm going to be recording the whole entire event, not doing it live, but recording it. That way we can break it down into segments and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
they can do all of that good jazz. So super excited about that. Um, so if you don't know what Warrior Rounds is, Warrior Rounds pairs veterans with singer-songwriters, Grammy award-winning singer-songwriters, usually done in Nashville. James Thornton, who is a Battle of Mogadishu, Black Hawk Down, Operation Gothic Serpent survivor. He was there during that battle with the 10th Mountain. He's an ambassador for Warrior Rounds here in Kentucky. Really good friends with JT Cooper, who's the founder of Warrior Rounds. They decided to break it off to Kentucky this year to try like satellite camp or satellite retreats for Warrior Rounds to see how that would work. So Kentucky is the test market for that. This year, I think we got 8 veterans that we paired with 8 singer-songwriters, and on the 22nd is the debut of their song, of their story. So I'm super excited about that. Homefront Sit Rep is going to be recording it for them and being a media partner for them as well. So I'm super excited about that, and can't wait to hear the songs because they make sure you bring tissues because you will get very emotional. But it is here in Kentucky in Shepherdsville on the 22nd. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. So super excited about that. I am a little under the weather, so if you hear me mute the mic and cough, I do apologize, but I am a little under the weather. But this cough, this change in temperature, going from hot to cold, really fricks with my nostrils at the present moment in time. So yeah, but super excited about today's guest. He's been on before. He's been on the Tip of the Spear. I think he was on another one of our episodes as well. He runs his own podcast called the Life Liberty Show, not the Life and Liberty, but it's the Life Liberty Show. He's a Marine Corps veteran, Semper Fi, and he's got a story, man. Let me tell you. Um, Definitely has a story to tell. Of course, like I said, he does his own podcast, and it's focused on self-sufficiency, and being prepared. But they also talk about all sorts of topics and stuff. So I'm super excited to bring Matt on here in just a minute to
Yeah,
tell.
we had him on last week for the Marine Corps birthday episode.
Yeah, yep. He was on the Marine Corps birthday episode, and he was on the Tip of the Spear as well. And what I love about Matt, he likes to play the devil's advocate a lot. So, you got people that will have certain, um, viewpoints on things, and he's like, "Well, what about this? Or what about that?" And he likes to question the system. That's because sometimes we're sheep and we like to just follow the system. But sometimes you gotta think outside the box and question the system. Because sometimes the system's broken, but we're so used to following that system
Yeah.
that we need to think outside the box, and that's what he does.
Well,
Uh,
and it opens dialogue more too, right? Instead of
yeah,
just, you and I agreeing on things, if it gets questions a little bit, then it makes you think a little bit more
yeah.
and opens your thought process a little bit. And, maybe there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. It definitely opens the dialogue, you know, for more discussion. And the good thing is if we can have a civil discussion but disagree and still be friends afterwards, then that's a positive. And a lot of times what happens though is if people don't agree with your opinion, you get mad and you're like, "Oh, well, we can't be friends." And then, "Oh, you're blocked or you're deleted from my contacts," whatever. But if you can't have a civil discussion and see both sides of the fence, then you're part of the problem because
And
you
and
have
it
to.
sucks, but if that's the way you want to be, see you later. Bye. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah,
it. We all were raised differently. We've all done everything in life differently, and we all have different viewpoints on every single thing, right?
yeah, yeah.
We
And
should be
and
able to
that's
have civil discussions without people getting pissed off. Like my grandmother, who's no longer with us, um, when it's baseball season and the Red Sox are playing the Yankees, she would not talk to me, period. And I'm like, it's a friggin' baseball game.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Neither one of us have any true vested interest in the game, right? I'm not a stakeholder. I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. I'm not any part of the team. I just like the team. I'm a fan of the team.
Right.
But you got some of those fans that are extremely fanatical that if their team loses, they shut their phone completely off. And I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
really, it's a
yeah,
freaking game. And I get it. You'll get people that aren't fans of either team that just want to razz you. And I get
y
it. But you know what? If you're going to give it, you have to be able to take it.
right.
That's
Now
what I'm saying.
see, Julie is a big time UK fan. I'm a U of L fan. Now, when they played just here recently, UK versus U of L in basketball, he had to go to the other room because she was like, freaking out because they were losing. But
Well, they
we're
just
still,
played volleyball against each other too, right?
yeah, they just played volleyball. I think U of L won as
U of
well.
L came out on top on that one. Yeah.
So they're getting ready to play football. It's coming up, not this
Two
week.
weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So, and I don't know if U of L if U of L is not playing up to their potential, UK is going to beat them. So I mean that's
I don't
after what
know.
I saw.
It's UK this year, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know because I mean they played some really cool games here recently, good games here recently, and she gets mad when I root for UK when they're not playing U of L. I'm like, they're still a Kentucky school. I got to root for them. So
Ah, I wish they could both lose. And that thing in a tie.
yeah, ended in a tie. That way everybody's kind of happy.
Everybody's
Uh,
all but hurt.
Now, so I got a Marine Corps veteran friend of mine, Bill Rawson, who does the Distorted Static Show, which is a music podcast. He's from California originally, but he lives here in Kentucky now. So when Cal came in to play Louisville, was it 2 weekends ago?
A couple
He
weekends ago.
he was at the game rooting for Cal, and after Cal won the game, I texted him and said, "Hey, tough game for us, good game for you guys. Congratulations." Because he was thinking that Cal was going to lose because they didn't have a very good season. But they came in and spanked us. They came and spanked Louisville. So,
Well, but
but
they
it was
lost.
still
But then they lose to Virginia Tech.
right, right.
So this
So
year's, pro and college both is just absolutely ridiculous. Before I
yeah,
came in here, there was an Ohio team playing a Kansas team, and the Kansas team was losing. I'm like, to the Northern Ohio team, really?
right,
Is this really
right.
happening? But it's just, you just don't know, right?
Yeah.
And it's sports and it's people, right?
Yeah.
And if you're at 70% and you're only given 70% of that 70, what are you really giving? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you need to give, if you're out there being paid to play, you need to give 100% of whatever you have.
Oh yeah.
There's no
Heck yeah.
such thing of giving 110%. The shit just doesn't exist. It's not money. It doesn't grow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have to just give your all every time you're on the field or the ice or the mound or the pitch or whatever.
Well,
Uh,
anything in life. I mean, your job that you have on a daily, your daily job, like you do team fast tracks. If you're 50%,
no,
and
I can't.
I know, I'm just saying, if you show up to work and you're only giving 50%, somebody's going to wind up getting hurt.
Yeah.
So
Or worse.
or worse, yes.
Yeah.
And that's just like with my job. If I'm not 100% at my job, I can, either cut through a 500 pair cable and knock the whole neighborhood out, or I can hit an electrical line and wind up possibly hurting myself, because that
Or
machine
sewage drain.
or sewage drain or something of that nature. So you definitely got to be very careful. So
Definitely a crappy day if you do that.
oh yeah, definitely. All right. So without further ado, I think we done bumped our gums enough. You think, Gunny?
Yeah.
So let's bring up our guest, Mr. Matt. Oh, wrong one. Ooh, that zoomed in way too far on us.
Yeah. I don't like
Hey,
that.
Welcome back to
uh-oh.
the show, Matt. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, we are hanging in there, brother. So
Well,
think
I appreciate you guys bringing me on again.
no, man, it's our pleasure and our honor to have you back on. Now, this time you get to talk about you a little bit more. Because with the other show, like the Marine Corps birthday episode, you didn't really get to talk about you very much. The tip of the spear, you didn't really get to talk about you and your story. So do me a favor, introduce yourself to the world of Homefront Sit Rep, if you don't mind.
I don't know where you want me to start in my story.
Whatever, it's your story. You share what you want to share.
Okay. Well then, I'll be kind of brief with my childhood, because if anybody really wants to know, they can go to my show and I talk about a lot of it. And eventually I'm going to have a book on my life. I think that it'd be pretty good. But so I was raised in poverty in Texas and moving around, lived in North Carolina, Oklahoma, Mississippi, and lived in Oklahoma and Texas quite a bit. We moved a bunch. My biological father's a heroin addict, left when I was 5. Been in the drugs and alcohol scene most of my life until I joined the Marine Corps. And I remember I was always going to join the military because I had nothing else going on. And I knew that if I stayed in the world of drugs, that it would be really bad. I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. And so 9/11 happened, and I remember I was working McDonald's, getting off 2-3 o'clock in the morning, closing McDonald's down. That's back, before they were 24 hours, and now we're back to that. So we'd clean up, and I wouldn't get home till about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd failed 7th and 9th grade. And then I was in an alternative school, and I get to the alternative school about noon. So I was still asleep. My grandmother called me. We called her Nanu, right? Or still do. And she called and she goes, "Hey, we're being attacked. Turn on the news." And I rolled over, turned on the news. The first tower had been hit. And I was like, okay, whatever. Right. I was a punk 18-year-old kid that had just woke up, didn't really know what was happening. And I said, okay. And I rolled over and went back to sleep. And then for some reason, I don't know if I got completely to sleep or if I didn't sleep very long. And I remember going, maybe I should watch this. And I rolled over, turned the news back on. And that's when the second plane had hit the towers. And that's when my whole life changed. For I don't know, the first, second, third time, but that was the most drastic change in my life. My stepdad was in the Army, and he was really abusive and an alcoholic and really kind of just a piece of trash. Um, and my kids didn't get to see that, right? He was a great grandfather. He did really good things with my kids, and I could never ask for anything different. But growing up, he was very, very, very strict, and I knew that I was going to be better than him, so I joined the Marine Corps. And um, whenever whenever I went to the recruiter's office and was like, I need to go. When are we going? And those of you that have been through the process, whether it's Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Merchant Marines, whatever it is, it's not quite that easy. And I almost got to a point to where I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm glad I did. Went through boot camp, MCT, MOS school, got an NJP in MOS school for getting a tattoo and disrespect to a senior Marine. So a Lance Corporal, we were in formation. I was PFC. Lance Corporal said, "Hey, y'all be quiet back there." And a new movie came out. I don't know what y'all think about cussing on her, but the phrase was, the movie was, "I don't gives a fuck," and that was what I said from the back of formation, and I got NJP'd for it. And that was February 29th, 2003. I got that NJP. That was also the day I graduated MOS school. So graduation, and then I went to get an NJP, and it was put on, I forget what they call it, where basically no restriction, no loss of pay. If I do it again, then I'm going to get all the charges, right? And that's obviously because if I'd have been on restriction, I'd have been non-deployable. So I went straight from MOS school, February 29th, 2003, landed in Camp Pendleton, and it was kind of a desert, right? There was nobody there, because everybody was already in country, getting ready for the push. And I turned
that's pre-push into Iraq.
Pre-push into Iraq. Yep. And I turned 19 years old, March 2nd. And then on the 8th, I'm on an airplane landing in Kuwait on the 9th or 10th, whatever the time difference was. And then I was there 7 days, and I was there for the initial push, March 17th. We pushed into Iraq. I remember getting into Ramadi. It was late. We pulled into Ramadi. And that was the last fob, right? Ramadi in 2003 was whenever you got there, nobody had gone any further.
Yep.
And we were continuously pushing forward. Got into Baghdad. We were there 3 days in Baghdad. So we didn't see anything crazy. And then we pulled back, and there was a college that we took over that was just outside Baghdad that we deemed Edson College. And then from there, we'd had a soccer game. I don't know if either one of you guys were there in 2003, and there was a soccer game that was our battalion against the locals. So I went through non-lethal training, sandbags, pepper spray, bean bags, and then I'd been to Babylon. We went into Babylon 5 times. So that was kind of cool, right? I'm not a religious person. I've been to church throughout my life, but I'd still never been a religious person. And standing somewhere that was in the Bible was kind of cool. I'm still not a religious person, but being able to stand there and go, wow, this is what they're talking about. See the Lion's Den and see all of the amphitheater and just Babylon. And there's some cool stories, some good funny ones, nothing war related, but just some cool stories in Babylon. And then we got home in August of '03, and I met my wife September 23rd, 2003. She was there to visit a friend of mine that she was engaged to.
Weird how that happens.
Weird.
Weird.
We stayed in contact. We didn't actually get together until I was out of the Marine Corps. Nothing happened then. And then I made my second tour, just up and by. And then my second tour was we went back in August of '04. So I was there for the start of the second battle of Fallujah. We were in Fallujah, Iraq, Camp Fallujah. And there were some cool things that happened then, right? I never say that I was in firefights, because I wasn't. I'm in armor. I didn't get on a truck to go outside the wire. The only time I was ever outside the wire was in '03, and that's only because there was no wire. And as we were moving forward, but in Camp Fallujah, I was in the wire the whole time, but that doesn't change dangers, right? I had RPGs shot at me while I was in a tower. I've been in the burn pit while mortars come in. I've been in the right place at the wrong times, or right times. The post I was on, I had traded, and that's where I had got shot at, right? I had traded posts, and I was on a gate, and I was in the tower, and they shot directly at me, and it missed me and hit the post that I had traded, and those two Marines had died. So that time I was supposed to die twice, and I didn't. And then in the burn pit with the mortar, I had a mortar come in within kill range, and it was a dud. Called EOD. EOD come out and cleared it out. So there's 3. And then I was missing some gear that I needed. I don't remember what it was. Had talked to supply, walked all the way to supply, and then they said, come back on this day at this time. Gunny's going to meet you over here to get you the gear. And I was on my way there and had stopped at my post and was, as a good Lance Corporal, I was standing there shooting a shit with the guys on post, and I was running behind. So I was like, man, I got to get out of here. Started walking towards supply, and Tomahawk come in and actually hit supply, and the gunny that I was supposed to meet had died. So if I'd have been in these places all at the right time, I wouldn't be here today. And then after that, we got back in March. March 23rd, I actually landed on U.S. soil, and September 23rd, March 21st, I landed on U.S. soil. September 23rd, 2005, I was discharged from the Marine Corps with an OTH. And I'd received a couple more NJPs in between there. In between my 2 tours, I got an NJP, and then I had got a couple in between my second tour and me getting kicked out. I've made my mistakes. I've done my things. But there's nothing I can say about that. And then there's, if y'all don't know, Sergeant Major USMC 1980, or Sergeant Major Schickel. He was my MEF Sergeant Major. Didn't know that, and then I met him on TikTok. He's in the process of helping me do my upgrade. He believes that my command did me wrong. And he's got my whole record. So he believes command did me wrong. And my belief is that has allowed me to, at this point, have some kind of peace is I believe that my command was going through the exact same problems I was, right? They had just came back from war too.
Yeah.
So they're dealing with the same thing I am. They don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it. They did exactly what they thought was the right thing. In fact, y'all were talking about it before I come up. You get into the routine, you get indoctrinated into what is the right thing to do, and you just, for lack of better words, you're sheep. You fall into the role, and I hold nobody accountable for what happened except for my actions. I should have never done the things that I did. So, but we're in the process of getting that upgraded. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I've tried it twice, and it's been denied both times with the Naval Review Board. So we'll see how it goes. But
I
now,
think it should be upgraded.
I mean, you don't know what I did.
I know. Well, I know you've told me bits and pieces of what you've done over the course of the time we've known
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
So I do kind of know some of the story. I don't know it all,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think you've served your penance. Because I know people that got out on with the BCD and
Mhm.
had it upgraded, so I think with you having other than honorable, I think yours should be upgraded at least to a general or something of that nature. Maybe, I think it should be upgraded.
Right. I don't want to be the person on this side saying I agree with you, because obviously I agree with you or I wouldn't be trying it.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, if the Naval Review Board decides that my experience or my time in the Marine Corps, I was too much of a shitbag, then I was too much of a shitbag. And I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with it. That I made my mistakes. And that's kind of got me where I'm at. I had my time with depression and with anger, and I at one point slept in my chair for 2 years. I didn't get out of my chair. My wife brought my food to me. And the only time I got out of my chair was to shower, shit and shave. That was it. And then I went right back to my chair, and I lived there for 2 years. I was
Mm.
in a depression, and the OTH did it, right? But I was wrestling with, was it me? There's something I didn't say about my military service. So my ultimate mission whenever I joined the Marine Corps was to kill and die. I had no other mission in life. I had nothing to come home to. My family said I was all just like my dad. My dad's a heroin addict in and out of prison. He was a piece of shit. Not a shitbag, a piece of shit. He's in prison now. He just got caught as a leader in a drug ring in my hometown, and he was sentenced a month and a half ago to 12 more years.
Mm.
So my dad's going to die in prison. We moved my sister. We went down, and my family had never met my dad. Never. My wife, any of my kids had never met my dad. And we went down to move my sister, and my dad was there. And my wife asked him, "When are you going to grow up?" He said, "Never. Never going to grow up."
Mm.
So it is what it is, right? We have to accept it. But my family put me in that same category, that I was a piece of shit. I was the black sheep. My whole family said, "You're just like your father." And so when I joined the Marine Corps, I had nothing to come home to. No family, no girlfriend, no kids, no wife. And I wanted to die in war as a United States Marine to put some kind of honor on my name. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, right, I was kicked out, and all of my struggles, was I combating the OTH. I didn't complete my Marine Corps 4 years. I didn't complete my mission in killing and dying. I didn't complete this. I didn't complete that. So I was beating myself up. And then I remember I went to Focus Marine Foundation. It was created by Marines for Marines. And it's a 5-day retreat that you go out. It's here in Missouri, and you go out onto a piece of property that they have. It's immaculate. It's beautiful out there, but you're secluded from everybody, and they have public speakers that are there, and then, bonfires at night and lunch and right, like some of the really cool stuff. And then, so there's these public speakers, and the public speakers are standing there talking, and a lot of it you're just kind of letting it go in one ear and out the other, because we just kind of really don't care. We're here because I'm trying to save my family. I'm trying to, I've been to jail a couple times from having flashbacks. Been in a couple not mental institutions, but stress centers, right? That's what they're called, stress centers, 72-hour holds. And I'm trying to change. I've scared my family enough, but I still wasn't at that point to completely change yet, right? So I was sitting there, some of it going in and out, just kind of rattling around. And one of the public speakers, therapist, psychologist, I don't know what she was, but she made a statement that sticks with me a lot. By the time you're 8 years old, your future's predetermined.
Yeah.
And my daughter at the time was 8. And I treated her like a little devil dog, little devil pup. And not only did I treat her like a little devil pup, but I was an angry Marine. And I don't know if I ever got to what you would call abusive, but I guarantee you I was towing the line. And whenever she said that, I just bawling, right? Just started crying, raised my hand, and was like, did I fuck up my daughter? And the answer that she gave me was no, that I can, repair that relationship. And that was the moment that I'm gonna be a different person. I have to be. And I've done it on no meds. Very, very little therapy. I relied solely on my wife. When I would be talking to people, I would look at her and go, was I an asshole? Right? Because I cared how I came across to people, because I'm truly trying to change who I am. And if she was like, no, you did fine, then I was like, okay, I'm going to remember that. And then if I was like, honey, was I an asshole? And she goes, yeah, you were kind of an asshole. And then I'd come back and go, hey guys, I'm sorry I acted like that. I still believe what I said, but I shouldn't have come across that way. And being self-aware has really made it really, really possible for me to be where I'm at. And I've now got a podcast. I've met some really great people. I'm, starting voiceover work, voiceover acting. I've got 2 books that I'm narrating. So I'm not in the construction field and the day-to-day that destroyed my body, after the Marine Corps. I'm happy where I'm at. Am I making a ton of money? No. But I'm happy.
But you're doing what you like to do and what you want to do and you're passionate about.
I'm finding new passions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's always a positive. So, all right. So you've unboxed a lot in this 30 something odd minutes here. You've unboxed a lot.
20 something, because we ran our suck for like 18.
All right. So 20 something minutes. All right. Gunny got to correct me. Don't give me an NJP, Gunny. But
that's very condensed. But yes.
Right. So we've unboxed a lot, and here you are, you're a young Marine, you get an NJP in friggin' MCT, your school.
MOS school.
Right, MOS school, MCT, whatever branch you want to go in. It's your job school, your specialty school. Like ours was 0311,
Spoken like a real grunt.
Right. Listen here.
Have another
Linda.
crayon, Willis. Have another crayon.
I didn't have one today. I need one.
That's your problem. That's the problem.
I know, right? I ran out of edible crayons.
Oh my Lord.
I did see something. Never mind. I did see something I was going to get you for Christmas, Gunny, but I ain't going to tell you what it is.
Was it at Kohl's?
No, it was at Walmart. The wife made me go to Walmart with her before the podcast.
Right.
And I hate shopping, and Christmas doesn't get set up until the day after Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it as well. Or the night of Thanksgiving, right?
So
you have to have your turkey first, period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So my wife loves setting up these Christmas blow up animals. It's like we have a menagerie of different animals in our front yard, right?
You got Willis's Ark down there in Mount Washington.
Yes, it's freaking crazy. Like this today, we went and they got a Christmas sloth and another.
Did you get a hippo last week?
No, it was a stegosaurus. It was a
whatever
stegosaurus. Yeah. So we've got like 20 blow up things that goes in the yard, and so she had to go get one today, and I'm like, motherfucker. So we went and I'm like, and she's like, well, you're going to help me put it up. I was like, no, I ain't. These are your babies. You put them up how you want them put them up. I have nothing to do with it. Because Christmas doesn't come until the day after Thanksgiving. I won't even let her put up a Christmas tree until the day after Thanksgiving. So, but anyway, we've unboxed a lot, of your story here. And I know we're only scratching the surface because I know there's a lot more to your story. So you got an NJP in your jobs in your school, and then you get to the fleet. You're there for however long, and then you get shipped over.
Yeah,
you get shipped overseas to the initial push into Iraq, which everybody knows that initial push into Iraq, regardless of your job, whatever you did, whether you're infantry, motor T, whatever, that was very taxing on the mind and the body, that initial push. What's around the corner? Because you never know. What's up, Jason Ginger? How are you, sir? You didn't know what was coming around, and then here you are. You're on a FOB, and for people out there that don't know what FOB is, it's forward operating base. And you're getting RPGs flown your way. You're getting rounds hitting your tower. You're supposed to be here and it got blown up and Gunny wound up dying, and places that that's very taxing on the brain. Here you are subconsciously thinking about that the whole time you're serving, so the whole time you're on the FOB, right?
It's those soul wounds, right?
Yeah.
It didn't physically break the skin, right? You didn't bleed, but you're losing a piece of yourself every time one of these events happen, right? So a piece of your soul is leaving and staying at Camp Fallujah or staying at the FOB or whatever because of these things that you experienced, or in the the watchtower, so your mind stays there. And I'll tell you, so you and I probably crossed paths at Fallujah because I got there in January of 2005, and then got pushed out to Abu Ghraib.
We definitely crossed paths.
Yeah. So, and then you said you come home on the 21st of March. I got blown up for the second time on the 20th of March. So the day before you came home. So, I know for a fact, physically a piece of me stayed in country, but for a very long time, and even to date, it's been 25 years, there's still a piece of me in Iraq, because every time that February 19th date rolls around, every time that March 20th date rolls around, whether I want to think about it or not, my mind takes me right back there, right? Yeah. The 4th of July, the weeks leading up to when people are testing their new stuff, my mind takes me back to Iraq. New Year's, when people are trying out, their fireworks.
I've gotten better at 4th of July.
Yeah, right. But still, it still is right there, right? And if you're expecting it, it's fine. It's those unexpected ones that it's like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, that just shook me to the core. And for just even a little brief millisecond, you're right back there. So that piece of your soul is no longer with you. It's over there in that country. So, those wounds are the ones that are the hardest to heal.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I'm like that. So I go to EKU football games. I go to U of L football games. EKU has the cannon, like they'll have a cannon up on there. Usually, it only goes off when the home school scores. Well, we were sitting up there the first game that I went to this season, and I was doing something, and all of a sudden the cannon goes off. Nobody was like they wasn't the teams weren't on the field or anything, and a cannon just goes off. Well, my daughter is sitting across the field in the student section. The wife and I are in our seats, and my daughter texted me. She goes, "Daddy, you okay?" Because she knows, like if I'm doing fireworks and I'm lighting them myself, I'm okay, but if it happens just unexpectedly, like, it just fricks with my brain, like, it just messes with me, like, ungodly, and she texted me right away. She was, "Dad, you okay?" Because I had my head down, I forget what I was doing. She goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It just was very unexpectedly, because luckily my wife was there and she put her hand on my leg, and that does calm my nerves, but I'm like Gunny, those soul wounds, a lot of our brothers and sisters out there that were in country that, um, had rounds coming down range at them and stuff like that. You do leave a piece of your soul there. And you got that, like you said, your mission when you joined the Marine Corps was to kill or die, right?
No,
That was your
both,
mission,
both.
or both. That was what you wanted to do. That's what you had in your mindset, that's what you were destined to do, right? Um, and when you got out of the Marine Corps, not on your terms, but you got out, you felt like you felt that. So your transition out was really, really rough, right? And like you said, you sat in your chair for 2 years, pretty much. What do you think, because now here you are, you got a podcast, you're doing all this stuff for the veteran community. What do you think was your turning point, and what made you realize, hey, I can do this to help myself and also to help my brothers and sisters out there?
So I I don't think I ever had a turning point in helping brothers and sisters, right? Helping veterans. Um, I'm I'm not your normal veteran that wants to help other veterans, right? You get on the social media and these guys are having some kind of fucking circle jerk powwow on my trauma is worse than your trauma and this foundation is better than this foundation. And I'm like, y'all are a bunch of pussies. Let's pull ourselves up by our fucking bootstraps and move on. Let's stop talking about it. And that's where I'm at, right? Like I help veterans. My wife is on the board of a veteran first responder foundation. And I absolutely enjoy getting out with the veterans and getting out there on the fucking mountain in the snow on a snow machine, getting out on side by sides with the veteran on a side by side. Or if we ever get the opportunity, just go sit on a lake and fish, right? Because those are the things that matter. Those are the things that are, I'm not this whole powwow, let's talk about trauma. Let's get out in the nature. Let's talk about absolutely nothing. Let's just enjoy being with each other. And then whenever we go and we start the fire and we're sitting around the fire pit, nothing's being said. That one veteran that has had a blast and has been sitting there and is finally comfortable with everybody to go, do you guys remember? And then that's when the breakthrough happens.
Yep.
And that is something that matters, not this whole propping yourself up about this foundation or this foundation. In fact, I'm glad we're talking about foundations, and it's not even a veteran foundation. I have my beard painted And Gunny has said nothing about it, by the way. We were talking before. I've seen him look at it 4 or 5 times with the face going, what in the fuck is this guy doing? and my face, y'all
I'm
can't
still
see.
trying to figure out if that is like dye that's still in there, or if okay, I get it. Yeah, it's so it's
Yeah.
the yeah.
It's
It's
green.
green, so it's your back your backdrop. Yeah, got it.
So this is green, pink, and blue. So Zach's Rays of Hope on TikTok, a wonderful, wonderful man is the founder of this, and his story, if you were to go find Zach's Rays of Hope on TikTok and go listen to his story, it is amazing why he's doing what he's doing. What he does is he puts backpacks together for the homeless, not for veterans, not for first responders, the homeless. And he's doing it in Oklahoma, specifically Oklahoma City. He's trying to grow and expand. So he did a deal on TikTok that if somebody gives a gift, they get to him, they get to choose whoever to paint their beard. One color. I've got a couple of people, right? I'm super happy to do this. I don't paint this. This isn't what I do. So to step up and say, I'm going to help a foundation that I believe is doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Is something I want to step up and do. And that's what the nastiness here is. By the way, it's another 2 days. So if y'all see me on the TikTok, it's going to be different variations of the colors, but 2 more days.
So is that washout or is it permanent?
It's Halloween spray on.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
So I'll give a little bit of rundown of Zach's Rays of Hope. So Pops Danny is the founder. His son Zach was a veteran, if I remember correctly. He served the homeless community. Like he would go give blankets and stuff like this to the homeless community. Well, unfortunately, his son was unalived by one of the homeless people that he was helping. So after that happened, Pops Danny started Zach's Rays of Hope and continued his son's mission. And they do backpacks for the homeless, not just homeless veterans, but they do serve veterans as well.
They do.
But he continues that mission of his son. And he's one of the most genuine people out there. Like, you could tell when people are doing it just for the notoriety, for the fame of it. Pops Danny, he's doing it because he believes that is his mission in life now, to carry on his son's legacy of doing this for the homeless. And it's amazing to hear him speak and see how passionate he is about the mission. And those backpacks, they're not cheap by any means. They're anywhere between $100 to $200 backpacks with tents and all, socks, black, whatever. It's got a little bit of everything in it. Yep. And it's just an amazing mission. So yeah, go check out Zach's Rays of Hope. I don't know if they have a website yet or not.
They do. It is ZRHF, Zach's Rays, or ZROHF.org.
Yeah. So go check out the website and donate and help Pops Danny and continue his mission. For me, if I lost my daughter or daughters, either one of them, to something of that, I don't know if I could continue that mission. Not right away, because I would be so distraught.
And to hear him say it, it was like 3 months later.
Yeah. I don't know if I could.
Yeah, he moved right into it. Now, the Veteran Foundation that I'm part of, that my wife is part of, I'm just a tag along and just love doing it. It's All American Heroes Foundation, and they are in their growing portion right now. They're 5 years in. I think it's their 5th year, and they're growing. So we are pushing. I was just in Denver at a Denver snow show promoting All American Heroes. Been to Minnesota. We went. Where was that, honey? Wyoming. We went out to an event in Laramie, Wyoming, and it. I mean, and that was all this year.
Yeah.
So it's this is I have a passion for this foundation, but I don't get out on social media. I've done one live promoting All American Heroes and trying to raise money, but I don't do the whole give me money on social media thing.
Right.
Now I also did another one for a foundation in Australia, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. So
But
here's something I want to, because you said you don't help veterans. This is what you said a little bit ago. You said you don't help veterans, but Gunny and I will tell you, going out and hanging out with a veteran on a fishing bank or in a boat or out in nature in general is helping veterans, because I don't care. I don't care if we talk about trauma. I don't care if we're just sitting there bantering back and forth, oh, you're Army, I'm Marine, blah, blah, blah. That's helping veterans, because you're sitting there and you're talking to them as a human. Yeah, they're a veteran. They might have their issues, but here you are out there and you're talking to them as a normal human. Sorry, TikTok is trying to kick me out. You're talking to them as a normal human. You're helping veterans. Now you're sitting around that campfire. I know Gunny and we've talked about this numerous times. You could be out with a veteran all day long and that veteran not say one single word.
Yep.
But you get done breaking bread with them. You're sitting around a campfire. That's where the healing begins, because now they're comfortable with you. Now they're going to open up and just talk about, nothing's being forced. That's when the healing begins. And a lot of people don't realize that. If you take a veteran and you're like, well, tell me about your story, and try to fix them then and there, that veteran's going to shut down. But if you just talk to them as a normal veteran all day long, you break bread with them at the end of the day, and then you sitting around a campfire, that's where the healing begins, because they're going to open up. And all it takes is that one veteran to open up around that campfire, and everybody else starts opening up. So that's where the real healing begins. I know Gunny and we've talked about that numerous times over the course of 3 years now here on Homefront Sit Rep. And that's when you said you don't help veterans, I wanted to say, wait a minute. No, you do help veterans. You just help them in a different way, where you're not really thinking you're helping, but you are helping.
Yeah, and you're right. I do think I may have misspoke. I don't help them in the quintessential way that everybody thinks that you need to help veterans. I'm not a give a handout kind of guy. And as you were talking about it earlier, I like to look at things both ways. I like to do the devil's advocate. I'm also a very straightforward, blunt person. If we get into a conversation, I'm going to look at a veteran and say, I'm sorry, bud, you just need to buck up. This is the time in your life that you just need to buck up. Because if we continue telling somebody, oh, it's okay to not be okay all the damn time for everything ever, all you're doing is creating a victim mentality. And there are times that you're like sitting around the campfire and somebody wants to start talking. It is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not be okay every single day whenever you're talking to somebody and you're using it to manipulate and gain something. Sometimes you just gotta do something and move on. And this comes from personal experience. I was the guy that was not okay every single day, and then finally just said, fuck, I got to do something.
Yeah.
Right. You've got to make the choice. And I say this about my dad. My sister's now a drug addict, meth head, in and out of prison. And I've been around the drugs. Right. So the only people that I've ever seen get away from drugs, get away from alcohol, become something different are the ones that chose to change.
Yeah.
You have to choose to change. And if somebody is always validating your emotions, then you're never going to choose to change.
Yeah.
So I'm the guy that's going to go, I don't care. And then there's the community that's going to go, you're an asshole. Yeah. I am. But I'm the one that's being honest with this person.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's too many veterans out there that use that have that victim mentality, and they utilize that to their advantage. Gunny and I both have seen it numerous times. I not saying that, all right, say an MST survivor, right? Yeah, terrible things happened. I understand that, right? But there's also a time and place where you're like, all right, I'm no longer the victim. Let me move forward. Same thing with PTSD. I'm not the victim. Let me move forward.
Well, it's with everything, right?
Yeah.
So not so much the first time, but the second time I got blown up, I blamed myself. Because I had a suspicion that there was an IED in the ground, and I blamed myself. Well, first and foremost, I didn't put the friggin' IED there. I didn't put the wires to the battery that triggered the thing. And at the end of the day, I went back to warn my Marines of a possible IED. And they're alive and well today because of that. And it took me forever to realize, damn, that wasn't my fault. I did what I was supposed to do as a leader of Marines, as the platoon sergeant, to protect my Marines and bring them home. Now, granted, it's only 67 days into the deployment, and now I'm getting sent home, but still not my fault.
Yeah, not your fault.
No matter what you're wearing, no matter how you presented yourself, no matter what you feel as though you may have done to put yourself in that situation, it's not always your fault.
And if we continue to remember, right, Gunny, not your fault. It's what happened. It was not your fault. You've got to remember, old men talking, young men dying. Okay?
Yeah.
So there were a bunch of old men in Congress talking, sending young men to do their dirty work. So we were the young men doing the dirty work for old men talking.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know we barely scratched the surface of your story.
It's already been an hour.
Yeah, it's already been an hour.
I did tell you I'll try and keep it under an hour.
No, I love it because I mean we've hit on a lot of topics, and so if you guys want to hear more of Matt's story, go to the LifeLibertyShow.com. You can check out his podcast episodes there. You can follow him on TikTok and other social media platforms as well.
All of them.
Yeah. All of them. And then go check out
allamericanheroesfoundation.org. So it's aaheroes.org.
So aaheroes.org. Go check out Zach's Rays of Hope. You can go to Google, type in Zach's Rays of Hope, check out their mission as well. Pops Danny, like I said, he's one of a kind. He's very genuine in his mission. So go check out his mission as well. Matt, man, thank you for taking time away from your family, because I know you guys are doing your thing there. I know your wife's right there.
She's yelling at him from the other room of places they were going to and have been. So she
right. My wife just hollered. She was like, "We've got a sled that we're raffling off.
There you go. So
the 24th, the 19th, it's going to be drawn." Oh,
so 20th. where do they find that at?
Is that on the webpage?
aaheroes.org. Yep. $25.
aaheroes.org. Go place $25 and on a sled. Go do it.
On a snow machine. What's that?
What kind of sled is it?
What is it?
It's a 2020. What year is it? 2024 Polaris Chaos. It's the 850 with 165-inch. So it's absolutely a mountain sled.
Yeah, it's got the extended track on it.
Yeah, it's a mountain sled.
Gunny, we wouldn't need that here in Kentucky, would we?
I'm from Maine, man. I still got family up there, man.
It's brand new, by the way. It was a
holdover.
It's a 22. No, it was a professional athletes that never rode it. And they donated it to the foundation. Wow. And that's what's happening is it's getting raffled up.
Heck yeah.
And it's wrapped and it's got an All American Heroes wrap on it.
So there's a question on question on
My wife's in the
TikTok.
background, like talking me through it.
Yeah, I can
So-
hear a little bit.
So there's a question on TikTok. Is it
Yeah.
open for Canadians to buy a ticket for?
I tell you away. They've asked this before. So I've got a Canadian community. I've talked politics, Canadian politics, dribbles into American politics. And Away knows that the Canadians can do it because Berta Proud Dad has actually entered for it. And yes, we will get it to Canada. We have somebody that'll deliver it anywhere in the two countries. And he says that he'll have it on the doorstep Christmas morning.
Nice. All right. So tell your wife to get
Tell
with
my
her
wife.
people. Tell
Get
your
with your
wife to get
people.
with that. We're going to have them on the show to talk about their organization and stuff. So
Yeah,
let's make it
absolutely.
happen.
We'll make it happen. Honey, did you hear that? Oh, you're not watching on YouTube? Oh,
What's
okay.
what's wrong with
Yeah,
her?
yeah. What's wrong with you?
Come on.
He said that you're gonna get your people together. You're gonna have you on the show to talk about the foundation and promote the sled. Okay.
Let's
he
make it
said.
happen. Let's make it happen. But anyway, Matt, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us again and telling your
I
story.
appreciate it.
I know we barely scratched the surface. Now Matt will be back on the tip of the spear with us as well, and you might just see him randomly pop in on Home Front Sit Rep. So just stay tuned. You never know what will happen.
What?
So yeah, right. So Matt, thank you again. Tell your wife and your kiddos there, thank you again for allowing you to come hang out with us for this hour and some change. We really, really, really appreciate it, brother.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I've gotten better at telling my story, so
Hey, the more you tell it, the easier it becomes.
I guess. I'm sorry. I know you're about to shut it down, but I think Gunny noticed it. Earlier he was talking about a time when an explosion went off and his daughter had texted and asked if he was okay. I automatically, like, I started getting teary-eyed, red-eyed, and I'm pretty sure Gunny saw it. My daughter did the same thing to me. Our rodeos, they do that. Boom.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she texts, "Are you okay?" So it's
Yeah,
a thing.
It
Yeah.
is. My
And
daughter, I mean, it was just so sweet that she did that. You know, she was across the stadium from me, across the football field, and she just looked over and saw, and she says, "Daddy, you okay?" You know, it was just, it just, you know, it just. She knows that the PTSD that I got and what affects me and stuff like that. So she's very aware of that situation. So I definitely.
and that it brings on, right, like, generational trauma from
Yeah.
our trauma, because now our kids are gaining trauma, learning how to deal with our trauma.
Yeah.
And let's not victimize that, right? Because now you're victimizing a whole lot of other stuff. But let's be real in the fact that there is a secondary trauma from our trauma.
Definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. Well, Matt, thank you again. I'm going to drop you down in the green room if you want to hang out or if you need to go. It's up to
I'll
you.
hang out.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
L-
Let's see. Not that one. This one. God,
Don't put me that close, man. There we
I
go.
know.
That's much better. I know
This
what you're
is
doing.
much better.
What you doing,
Much
Willis?
better. What you doing? What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. All right, man. Thank you again, Matt, from the LifeLiberty Show, coming on and talking about your story and what you're doing. Whether you know you're helping veterans or not, you are helping veterans, and that's all that matters. And we've talked about it numerous times on this show that just being around a veteran and just shooting a shit with the veteran, that's the healing. That's what veterans need. Sometimes we just need people to listen to us and not try to fix us, because if you try to fix me, I'm going to build that wall a little bit higher each time. But if you're just sitting there and you're shooting a shit with me, I'm probably going to wind up opening up. What do you think, Gunny?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I'll
definitely.
talk when I'm ready. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Don't try to force it out of me, because you're just going to get, I served for 14 plus years. That's it.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I'm gonna say, hey, I was a Marine Corps vet. I was 0311 infantry. I served from this time to this time, then got recalled from this time to this time, and that's all you're getting from me. You ain't getting nothing else.
Nope, that's it.
My story's out there. If you want to know my story, go look. You can find it. It's out there.
Oh,
So
mine's definitely out there.
yeah, yours is definitely out there for sure. I mean, Chat GPT will bring it up and tell you all of Gunny's story and all of Willis's story. So you can go find us on that if you want.
Chat doesn't need to be in my books anywhere.
Right, definitely. So I love episodes like this where our guest gets to tell their story uninterrupted.
Yeah.
Because basically, Matt filled the void. He kind of touched on everything there. We didn't have to pull it out of him. He just kind of told us his story, and at the end we got to talk about things that went on during his story, and that's what I love.
And the thing is too, he's like, I don't know where to begin, and he talked a little bit about his childhood, and then went into the his Marine Corps time, and then a little bit after service, and he didn't tell everything, but he hit on key points that's going to resonate with anybody that's listening or watching at the moment, or is
Right.
going to listen later.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm super excited for people to learn more about him and his wife's organization, and organizations that he support. I mean, mom and pop organizations like Zach's Rays of Hope that's out there, doing backpacks for homeless people in general, and then plus veterans on top of that. It's amazing to see that, people that are out there doing that, like Matt. He's not realizing that he's helping veterans. He feels like he's a tag along at his wife's organization that she's helping run, but yet he's getting healing from helping her, and then the veterans are getting help from Matt. So yeah, I think it's super, super cool, man. It's amazing. So it is simply amazing, Gunny. All right.
That's phenomenal.
Phenomenal. All right, Gunny, you're up.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down.
Amen. Don't let your dark days win.
Yep.
In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you were deeply held in the hearts of others. You were not alone. And this right here is so powerful, because I've got friends from high school that I don't talk to on a daily basis, and I might not even talk to them for a couple months. But I know that if I call one of those people up, they would be here tomorrow at my doorstep if I needed them to be. So don't let your dark days win. Reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in forever, and if you need help, because they're going to be there. And then this right here: the uniform may come off, but the bond remains, and together we heal, we rise, and we carry each other forward. There's a big trend on TikTok right now and other social media platforms where veterans are putting down other veterans. Whether you're a combat vet, non-combat vet, whatever, we all signed our name on that dotted line. And as long as we continue to cut each other down, we can't carry each other forward. So stop doing that with the toxicity, and let's carry each other forward. Let's heal each other, and let's rise above that. Um, Hashtag be someone stranger. We talk about this all the time here on Homefront Sit Rep, and I'm a beat it until it's blue in the face. Look, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So if you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And if they give you the red flags, "I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream," ask the next hard question: how are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation, because it could be a 5-minute conversation, could be an 8-hour conversation. And don't try to fix them. Just listen. That's all people need sometimes, is somebody to listen to their story, their struggles. So definitely just ask that next hard question. Be someone stranger.
Yeah, it takes a village. You can't do this alone. Use that person to your left, to your right. like Willis said earlier, just, reach out to somebody. And one way to do that is, picking up your cell phone, open up your contacts, and just hitting the button and call that person. Maybe that person just needs to hear your voice today too.
Yeah, definitely do that cell phone roulette, like Gunny says. And if you don't get an answer from that person, leave a voicemail. Say, "Hey, I'm just thinking about you." Hang up the phone. Do it
Yep.
again, and until you get a hold of somebody and talk to them, because you never know. You might save that person's life. You never know. Big shout out to our partners, Heroes Media Group, Reese Across America Radio. You can find Homefront Sit Rep on reaseacrossamerica.org reaseacrossamerica.org/radio on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out there on Reese Across America. You can download the iHeartRadio app, Audacity app, or the TuneIn app and search the word Reese, and you can find all the shows that are on Reese Across America Radio. So go check it out. Then also a big shout out to Military United Podcast Streams, Elite Engraving, which I'm not wearing the hat tonight. I'm wearing Lindsey Wilson because my youngest has decided to go to Lindsey Wilson instead of Bellarmine. So super, super excited about that. So check out Elite Engraving. They have our hat on their website. You can go find it, or you can go to Homefront Sit Rep and click on merch, and you can see it there as well. Same flag, same oath.com. Matt and Becky Johnson outside of Katy, Texas, did our Marine It Down shirt, which Uncle Sam is wearing. If you follow Theory on TikTok, he was wearing our shirt today on his live. So go check out same flag, same oath.com. Also, Valor Coins and Pin, Brent Casey and Brian Casey, the grandsons of Herschel Woody Williams, the Marine of all Marines, Medal of Honor recipient. Gunny can tell you a whole lot about Herschel Woody Williams. He was, I never met him face to face, but the stories I've heard of that guy, heart of gold, and he loved his Marines. So,
And West Virginia, by God.
And West Virginia, by God. Yeah. So he's got a foundation where they do Gold Star monuments across the country for families, Gold Star families. And Valor Coins and Pins, they take a percentage of, each coin sale, and it goes to the Herschel Woody Williams Foundation. And I believe they're still in I do have I do have one here, Gunny. That's one coin. Yeah. It's kind of what the monument looks
like.
Front.
The front of every monument looks like that, has the same sayings. The back of each monument is different. And it's up to that committee that is wanting that monument. They get to pick what's on the back.
Heck yeah. So if you are a Gold Star family member and you want a Gold Star monument in your town, reach out to the Herschel Woody Williams Foundation or the Woody Williams Foundation and say, hey, we would love to have one of your monuments here. And then they'll walk you through the steps of who you need to contact and all of that.
They'll actually, somebody from the Woody Williams Foundation is on the board as well. And they just basically hold your hand through it and give you direction and guidance. And, but all the fundraising and everything is all on your end. If you want one, but they help with, the size, the placement, all that good stuff. The groundbreakings, the unveilings, everything.
Heck yeah. RDC Shoes, go check out rdcshoes.com. Darren Davis, Marine Corps veteran. Amazing shoes. I wore them to the EK. Matter of fact, they're on my feet right now. I got the Patriots on right now. They are so comfortable. I love them. They're amazing. So go check out RDC Shoes. I feel like we're missing somebody. Who am I missing?
I think that's it. We got United Podcast Streams, Elite Engraving. We
Heroes
got
Media Group, Reach Across America Radio,
Across America,
same flag, same
flag, same oath. Darren, I think we're good. I think that's everybody.
And then cavarts.org. If you are a veteran and you are creative, whether it's woodworking, leatherworking, metal forging, you're a poetry artist, you like to do poetry, you like to do play the guitar, My wife made fun of me because of guitar, because I'm country. Because I'm country.
Because you're hillbilly.
I'm hillbilly. Yeah. So they do. So if you love arts, anything that's considered art, go check out cavarts.org. It's part of challengeamerica.com. Great mission there. I love it. They're amazing. So go check them out. Gunny, unfortunately, it is that time, my friend.
It is. No show tomorrow.
Yep.
You've got the Marine Corps League meeting. And then
Yep.
Tip of the Spear is Wednesday, right? This Wednesday? Because
Wednesday the
next weekend
19th.
is
Yeah.
next Wednesday is the day before Thanksgiving. People will be traveling, so try to get it in before the holiday.
Definitely. And unfortunately, General Brian Kelly cannot make it this Tip of the Spear. So he will try either December or January. So, but it should be a great Tip of the Spear. I'm super excited about it. So yeah, check us out on Tip of the Spear on the 19th. Get fiddle.
Yeah, say fiddle instead of guitar, because it seems like you can say that.
Yeah, fiddle. What's the difference between a fiddle and a violin? Anyway, let's talk about this real quick before we end the show. Next year, starting in January, we're going to add 2 new segments. One's going to be the veteran joke of the day. So if you're a veteran and you think you're funny, submit a small video, 30 seconds to a minute, to homefrontsitrep@gmail.com of you telling a joke. And next year we're going to play that joke at the beginning. So right after our intro, Gunny and I are going to come on, do our little banter. Then we're going to play the joke of the day, and then we're going to bring the guest in after the joke of the day. So if you're funny or you think you're funny, send us a joke video, 30 seconds to a minute. Gunny and I will go through those, and we'll pick one for each episode. So send it at Homefront Sit Rep.
This is a family-friendly show, so keep it clean.
Definitely keep it clean. And then when we end the show, Gunny's going to have Gunny's words of wisdom. So we're going to have two new segments starting in January. So I'm super excited about that. So, yeah, I'm excited. But anyway, like we always say on Homefront Sit Rep, stay safe out there. We got your six. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find Homefront Sit Rep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.